So today we're going to learn the characteristics of living things. Make sure you have your science notebook and different colored pens for this lesson. Everything you see on the screen needs to be taken down in your notebook. Let's get started. Characteristics of living thing is your title. Skip the line and right underneath you're going to write the objective. I can list characteristics of living things. Go ahead and say it out loud to your talking partner and buddy. I can list characteristics of living things. Now say it out loud with me. I can list characteristics of living things. Materials: science notebook and different color pens. Or highlighters, they work as well. So first I want you to describe something that is alive. And ask yourself some questions. How do I know something is alive? Probably ask yourself, does it move? Does it grow? Does it reproduce? And these are all good questions, but we could say all this things to a flame, right? A flame moves, it flickers. Does it flame can grow bigger? Yes. And can it reproduce? Meaning, can it spread? Yes, right? But does that mean a flame is alive? And no, right? We know the flame is not alive. So what the scientists have developed is a list of characteristics that all living things must have. So if they check off all this list from these characteristics, then we know it's a living thing. And then sometimes some non-living things may have some of these characteristics, but not all of them. So like the flame, it's not a living thing, but it does have some characteristics. Not everything on the list, but some of them. And we're going to go through that list. So make sure you copy down this square right here where it says scientists have developed a list. Make sure you copy that box in your notebook and you're going to put a little star next to it. So first thing on that list is that living things are organized. Go ahead and write this in a different color pen or highlight it. And right underneath you're going to write that one of the first things that scientists look for is structure. You want to highlight that word or underline the word structure in your notebook. We also know that living things must show an orderly structure or organization. And all living things are composed of one or more cells. That's how we know that they're organized. It has like an organization, a body, or cells to keep the living thing alive. Next, we know that living things make more living things, meaning they reproduce. For life to continue, living things must reproduce to make more living things. And go ahead and write the word reproduce in a different color or highlight or underline. That's a key word here, right? That's the second on our list. We know that living things must reproduce. So the first one is must be organized in a structure. And number two is they need to reproduce. Number three, we know living things change during their lives, meaning they grow. So living things grow throughout their lives. Think of it like a baby of a human. You're a baby, you're a kid, you're a teenager, and then you're an adult. So living things grow throughout their lives. Living things adjust to their surroundings as well, meaning they respond to their environment. Think about how your body responds when it's a hot day. Do you start to sweat? Do you want to be in the shade? Do you automatically start seeking a room with an AC? You don't want to be in the sun. So, how does your body react to the environment, right? It responds to the environment even without you doing anything. Now, think about how your body responds to the environment when it's cold. Right? You start to shiver, your teeth starts to clatter, or your bones start to hurt because it's too cold, like your hands, right? And you just want to cover yourself up. And living things adapt and evolve. So they adapt to their environment so they have a better chance of survival. So think of animals. Think of the animal birds who fly south for the winter because of the snow, right? So they adapt to their environment to make sure they have these basic survival instincts. So you copy this down, make sure you highlight or underline the word adapt. Living things also take in nutrients and excrete waste. So, for example, if the monkey needs energy, so it needs food, and it gets its nutrients and energy from its food that it eats. And after they use the nutrients, they turn into a waste, meaning they go to the bathroom. Can you name the characteristics of living things? So, think about what we talked about. We talked about how they need to be organized, it needs to reproduce, it grows, it adjusts to its environment, it takes in nutrients, and it adapts and excretes waste. So go ahead and count these off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we know that there are 7 characteristics of living things on our list. First, we need to know that they're organized and it has a cell, right? It could be one or more cells. It reproduces. So more living things make more living things. And it grows. Just like a human, it goes through different phases and we grow from big to small. And it adjusts to an environment. Think how our bodies adjust to the environment when it's hot, when it's cold. It takes in nutrients, meaning we get energy and nutrients from food. And it adapts, right? It adapts to its environment around us for what? Survival. And it excretes waste, which it goes and uses the bathroom. So make sure you copy this slide completely. And let's see if you can memorize the sad characteristics of living things. Next, make sure you go to Seesaw and upload a photo of your notes. See if you could try to memorize all 7 characteristics of living things and upload a photo of a living thing and tell me how do they meet all of these 7 characteristics. Can't wait to see your answers.